the sense I'm kind of getting from reading stuff in different reports is I love how I said I get the sense. No one tells me anything. I'm just a kid who reads.
My sources tell me.
My sources, aka the Athletic, are reporting. It just kind of feels like the sense with Rickard Rakell, Josh Manson, and Hampus Lindholm seem to be that if they're not going to be signed, that Pat Verbeek wants to get something for them. Am I often thinking that?
Yeah, I think right now, like we've mentioned before, like the first half, like that momentum they had in the first half is kind of drying up right now.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, like they're falling right now. I think they are. I just checked recently, and they are in fifth place right now in the Pacific. Like not good. Like they're 26, 21, and 9. Not too far back from the Oilers, but the thing is, the Oilers have 2 games in hand, and then the Flames, who are leading everything, have 4 games in hand from the Ducks. So it's not looking too pretty right now. As a Ducks fan, it was fun. It was great. You prove, like all the young guys proved, you've gotten better from last season, but this is just not the year. Eric Stevens wrote about it recently, where 2 reasons why you should probably be in sell-off mode for a lot of your UFAs is, first, hypothetically, you get into the playoffs as a wild card. You're facing the Avalanche or the Golden Knights, and I don't think the Ducks have. They don't have that core yet or the experience yet to really upset one of those guys.
Get rinsed. Even Calgary, they're going to get rinsed.
Yes. Second is, and it's the big point that everyone's been talking about recently, and it's a surprising one for me too, is Pat Verbeek's the first GM that has no ties to anybody from 2005, which is crazy to me.
Oh, I guess Murray was around that long, eh?
Yeah, it was like Burke, Murray.
I shouldn't say they're out of it, but it is kind of rough where they are 2 points behind the Oilers. The Oilers have 2 games in hand. But what kills them is they're the same amount of points as the Stars. The Stars have 4 games in hand. Mm-hmm. The Canucks backed by 3 points a game in hand. The Jets are, let me use the math, 4 points behind with 2 games in hand. The math is starting to look out of their favor, which is, not something you want. Like the Western race, at least the wild card should come down to looks like the end of the season, unlike the East, where we've known for the past month who's going to make it. But there's no reports that if you can make a bet that anyone's going to say it'll be Josh Manson, probably. Rickard Rakell, I'm sure that he scored last night against the Bruins.
He's been on a heater lately,
which is the perfect time to get some value. And we obviously know they want. They have their centermen of the future ready with Zegras and McTavish. Mm-hmm. So, and Rakell, he's played center here. I'm sure he's played some wing there, but you got to make room, right?
Yeah. I think right now there's really no indication. I think Josh Manson's camp is the only one that said, we want to come back. We want to stay in California long term. But when I first heard about Hampus Lindholm, speculation that he wants to test the market, trade the guy right now because I think he's an amazing defenseman. I don't think he's a number 1, which people have been saying, but you can get really good value out of him. A lot of people are comparing the David Savard one. I think the Ducks would get a lot more than that.
I think he's better than David Savard, even when Savard was good in Columbus. He's better than Savard.
And then Rickard Rakell, great scorer. Just a bit of injury here and there, but it was fun. But that's the thing. I'm warming up to Pat Verbeek because of how relentless he is. Not in a bad way, but in terms of how he helped the Lightning, and he helped the Red Wings with doing things. And they traded a bunch of those marquee guys. They bought out a lot of those marquee names, and there's no nostalgia with the guys. So I'm hopeful to see what he's going to be able to do in terms of doing what's best for the team and not really falling in love with his players the way Bob Murray did with those extensions.
Well, that's the worst thing you can do, right? Mm-hmm. Is just get too loyal to guys, and that's what you need, a fresh air to face. Unlike a certain team that seemed to have just hired a guy in-house, and we'll talk about the Blackhawks later. You're damn right we will. Who could you see picking up Lindholm and Rakell? We can start with Lindholm because I would imagine you could probably get more for him.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like people are gonna always say the Leafs, but the thing is, it doesn't fit. If Alex was here, he'd say it wouldn't fit. He's a left-hand shot.
Yeah, no,
Um,
true.
I'm not sure. Like,
And the price would be probably too high.
yeah, I'm keep thinking like the Golden Knights, but like unless they give like Zach Dean or Brendan Brisson, I don't think there's really anybody on that lineup who they're gonna give away. And I don't know about the cost, but I know the Ducks have a lot of cap they can eat up.
Mhm.
Ricard Raquel. I don't know. It's like a solid. Honestly, I said this 2 years ago. I'm still gonna say the Leafs because he's making a bargain of a contract, and to get more, I'm sure the Ducks would retain salary on that. So, he'd be a lot cheaper than a Philip Forsberg hypothetically. So
What
I could
what
see
is
that.
his salary now? Like 3.7 or something?
Yeah, like 3.75.
That is incredible. A guy who can play in the top six. I like Regard Raquel, so I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Like the Caps need scoring. Sure, they could pull them up. I wonder if they don't get Claude Giroux, if Colorado would swoop in and try and get him. You could see that. Carolina, because it's always Carolina, isn't it? It's just always Carolina. Pittsburgh are always looking for a guy who can play center and
Yeah,
can
I like
slot
that
down the
one.
lineup.
Yeah.
And it's like, goodness
Is
gracious.
this the year
Pittsburgh.
Samuel Poulin gets traded?
I hope so. I'm forever on it. I haven't seen Pittsburgh and Sherrod, but if it is, then I want Sam Pilla. I don't even know how good of a prospect he is anymore. Like how close he is. I just want him for the memes. It's just if he never gets traded, what was the point of starting this podcast to begin with?